scattered or requires a grasp of multiple ideas across paragraphs or pages. So you're still basing your answer totally on the evidence, it's just you're going to find your answer in several different places. So we need to know some keywords to let you know if you might be having a think and search question. These questions ask you what if they're asking for something plural. So what are the steps for making brownies? Or what are the things that made Alexander have a horrible, no good, very bad day? Notice it's asking for more than one thing. These are also questions where they're asking you to explain why, to describe something, or explain something. All of these would require more detail in the answer, so you know you're probably going to need a think and search question. Now, we've already studied right there questions. With right there questions, you're answering who, what, when, or where. With a think and search question, you're explaining, describing, answering why, or answering what if they're asking for more than one thing. With a right there question, it's found in one single spot. You can point to it with one finger, you know you found all of the answer right there. With a think and search question, you need to look at several spots in the story. A little bit might be from this paragraph, a little bit might be from this paragraph, and a little bit might be from this paragraph. The big thing in common, though, is that these are both in the book questions. You are still totally reliant upon the evidence. You don't need to bring your schema in to answer these questions. So just like a right there question, you're going to need to use keywords in the question in order to find your answer. So I have an example here. Describe the events of Alex's day before he locked himself into his room. Because it's describe, I know it's probably going to be a think and search question. Now I circled the word events and really paid attention to that S. I want more than one event, which is another clue that it's a think and search question. I want the events of Alex's day, and specifically before locking himself in the room. So I had to pay attention to those key words in order to figure out what I'm looking for. We can practice together as well. Notice it says, what are the steps to making a mummy? So again, I want to know the steps. And notice how it has that key letter S to let you know I'm looking for more than one. And I'm specifically looking for steps when making a mummy. So because it asks for more than one step, I can be pretty sure that it's going to be a think and search question, but I'm still going to find all of my answer in the story. In my next one, I have explain why Alexander was having a bad day. Because it says explain, I know it's probably a think and search question. I'm looking for Alexander, and I want to know why he was having a bad day, so the cause of Alexander having a bad day. And last but not least, why is one sound different from another? I'm looking for one sound being different from another sound or from another. So I'm really looking for sounds being different would be my keywords. Let's practice one together. I have a question. Explain how Bobby's dad helped him in the story. Notice the word explain lets you know it's probably a think and search question. I want to know how Bobby's dad helped. So let's read the story. The Monster in the Barn. As Bobby was getting ready for bed, he heard a loud screeching coming from the barn outside. Bobby did not know what was making such a loud sound, and he had trouble falling asleep that night. He was scared that there might be a monster in the barn. When Bobby woke up the next morning, he went to the barn to see what was causing a noise the night before. Bobby was perplexed and could not figure out what would make such a noise. That night after dinner, Bobby got a flashlight and headed out to the barn. "Where are you going?" Bobby's father asked. "I'm going to find the monster in the barn that made such a noise last night," Bobby replied. "If you're going to look for a monster, you might need some company." So right here I can think of the first thing that Bobby's dad is doing to do, help. He's giving him some company. I know that when I'm going through a situation like this where I'm doing something that might be a little scary, if I have company, I'm going to feel better about it. So one thing that Bobby's dad is doing is he's giving him company. So if I continue reading, it says Bobby's dad said, and he walked with Bobby to the barn. So he's giving him company, he's walking with him to the barn. Bobby shined his flashlight into the dark barn, but did not see anything. Bobby called out, but nothing answered. He walked into the barn, but still did not see a monster. "What did this monster sound like?" Bobby's dad asked. So he's helping by asking questions. "It was a loud screeching noise," Bobby said, "and it was coming from the barn." Bobby's dad began to laugh, and he took the flashlight from Bobby. Now, laughing at him I don't think really helps him, so I'm not going to highlight that. It's just something that his dad did. Remember, I'm really focusing on how Bobby's dad helped. So, it was a loud screeching noise, Bobby said, and it was coming from the barn. Bobby's dad began to laugh, and he took the flashlight from Bobby. Shining the flashlight up at the roof of the barn, Bobby and his dad saw a small brown owl in the rafters of the roof. "It was only a barn owl that you heard last night," Bobby's dad said. "They are nocturnal hunters, so that is why you only heard him at night." Bobby was happy that it wasn't a monster, and he thanked his dad as they walked back to the house. Just then they heard a loud screech and looked up to see the barn owl flying away into the night sky. So the last thing that he did was he was able to shine the flashlight up at the barn roof and point out the fact that it was a small barn owl in the rafters of the roof. So you can see how this is a think and search question. I didn't just stop when he gave him company and walked with him, because that would let me know that it was a right there answer. Because it said explain, I knew I was going to probably be looking for an answer in more than one spot. So if I really wanted to explain all the ways that Bobby's dad helped him, I could say that first he offered him company and walked with him to the barn. Then he started asking questions to solve the mystery. And finally he solved the mystery by shining the flashlight up at the roof and making him see it was actually just an owl and not a monster at all. Notice I didn't have to use my schema for any of this. All of the answer was still right there in the story. It's just I had to use more than one part of the story in order to really be able to prove my answer and explain it well. Go ahead now and practice some think and search questions on your own.